Chapter 10, Section 1, Introduction to Hypothesis Questions, the Z-Test. Section 10.1, Testing a Hypothesis about SAT Scores. Investigators hope to reject the hypothesis that nothing special is happening. This is called the null hypothesis. Hypothesized sampling distribution. If the null hypothesis is true, then the distribution of sample means will be centered around the national average. The mean of the sampling distribution always equals the population mean. Hypothesized sampling distribution centers around a hypothesized population mean. Properties of distribution. A vertical line appears on either side of the hypothesized population mean. These intervals reflect the size of the standard error of the mean. The standard error of the mean can be solved by finding the population standard deviation divided by the square root of the sample size. Also, the shape of the hypothesized sampling distribution approximates a normal curve. The null hypothesis is tested by determining whether the one observed sample mean qualifies as a common outcome or a rare outcome in hypothesized sampling distribution. Common outcomes. An observed sample mean qualifies as a common outcome if the difference between the value and that of the hypothesized population mean is small enough to be viewed as a probable outcome under the null hypothesis. A common outcome signifies a lack of evidence that, with respect to the null hypothesis, something special is happening in the underlying population. Rare outcomes. An observed sample mean qualifies as a rare outcome if the difference between its value and the hypothesized population mean is too large to be reasonably viewed as a probable outcome under the null hypothesis. A rare outcome signifies that, with respect to the null hypothesis, something special is probably happening in the underlying population, rejecting the null hypothesis. Boundaries for common and rare outcomes. If an observed sample mean is located between boundaries, it will qualify as a common outcome readily attributed to variability. Thus, the null hypothesis will be retained. If the observed mean falls outside of the boundaries, it is a rare outcome not readily attributed to variability, and thus the null hypothesis will be rejected.